In the spring of 1999, as Britain prepared for the royal wedding of Prince Edward and Sophie Rhys-Jones, no one imagined that the bride-to-be would be forced to weather a deeply personal scandal that threatened to overshadow the occasion. According to Sophie, Saving the Royal Family, a new biography by Sean Smith, the future Duchess of Edinburgh faced what could have been a defining downfall. Instead, she emerged not only unscathed but eventually more respected than ever, transforming personal pain into an enduring legacy of loyalty, dignity, and royal service. The controversy centered around a series of leaked photos taken years earlier, long before Sophie was engaged to Prince Edward. The photos were captured while she vacationed in Spain at age 23, relaxing on a beach with her then-colleague, popular radio host Chris Tarrant. One image, showing a topless Sophie laughing while Tarrant playfully pulled at her bikini, became the focal point of a sensational media frenzy. What intensified the hurt was that the betrayal came from someone she considered a friend, Cara Noble, a colleague from Capital Radio. Noble, who had once shared both airwaves and camaraderie with Sophie, sold the private photograph to the British press for a reported £40,000. The Sun ran the story under the provocative headline, "Sophie just laughed as Chris pulled up her bikini." The impact on Sophie was immediate and devastating. With just weeks to go before her royal wedding, the soon-to-be royal found herself publicly humiliated. According to Sean Smith's account, Sophie broke down in floods of tears, deeply distressed not only by the invasion of her privacy but by the fear that she had tarnished the image of the royal family. Murray Harkin, Sophie's former public relations business partner, told the author that Sophie was overwhelmed with guilt. She was so upset because she felt that she was letting the side down before her wedding. For a woman already under immense pressure due to her impending role as a royal, the timing and nature of the betrayal struck especially hard. Sophie, ever the conscientious professional, had worked hard to build a reputation as grounded, discreet, and loyal, qualities that won her the Queen's approval in the first place. Despite her despair, Sophie did not face the storm alone. Her future mother-in-law, Queen Elizabeth II, reportedly came to her defense in what Sean Smith describes as an act of unwavering support. The Queen, no stranger to media assaults on her family, reportedly called the incident premeditated cruelty. This backing from the monarch was critical, not just in protecting Sophie from the worst of the fallout, but in cementing her place within the royal fold. Chris Tarrant, for his part, was quick to deny any improper relationship with Sophie. He used his platform to criticize Cara Noble's actions and to defend Sophie's character. "To the person who has sold these pictures, you know who you are," he said during a radio broadcast. "Cara, how will you ever be able to look Sophie in the face again? I don't feel angry. I don't feel disgust. I feel deeply saddened." Noble later expressed regret over the betrayal. Speaking to the Mail on Sunday, she admitted the leak was the biggest and most public mistake one could ever make. The consequences for her were swift and severe. She lost her job, became socially ostracized, and eventually relocated to the United States to escape the infamy that followed. In an uncharacteristic move, even the Sun newspaper, infamous for its brash coverage and royal scandals, ran a full-page apology with the headline, "Sorry, Sophie." The gesture was significant, if rare, and acknowledged that the public had not responded with glee to the photos but with sympathy for the young woman suddenly thrust into controversy. And so, against the backdrop of public humiliation and private pain, Sophie went ahead with her wedding to Prince Edward on June 19, 1999. The ceremony, held at St. George's Chapel in Windsor, was a subdued affair compared to the lavish royal weddings of the past. Yet it radiated quiet dignity, much like the bride herself. That day marked not just a union but the beginning of one of the most enduring and scandal-free marriages in modern royal history. More than 2 decades later, Prince Edward remains the only one of Queen Elizabeth II's children to still be married to their first spouse. Together, he and Sophie have raised 2 children, Lady Louise Mountbatten-Windsor, now 21, and James, Earl of Wessex, 17. The scandal that could have defined her has instead been overshadowed by Sophie's unwavering sense of duty. Today, at 60, the Duchess of Edinburgh is regarded as one of the most reliable and hardworking members of the royal family. Her 2024 record alone included more than 100 official royal engagements, placing her 5th on the list of the monarchy's hardest-working members according to SEO agency Reboot Online. This annual ranking, based on the court circular's official engagement listings, is often used as a public barometer of royal diligence. Sophie has also played a crucial role in supporting King Charles III. Throughout 2024 and 2025, she has frequently stood in for the monarch during major events. In April 2025, she inspected troops at the Sovereign's Parade at Sandhurst Royal Military Academy, a prestigious duty historically performed by senior royals. In July, she traveled to Bosnia on the King's behalf to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Srebrenica genocide. Her speech there paid tribute to the surviving mothers of Srebrenica and reaffirmed the UK's commitment to human rights and peacekeeping. It was a significant assignment, and one that showed just how far Sophie has come from the vulnerable young woman weeping in the shadow of betrayal. Her selection for such a role was no accident. Over the years, the Duchess has devoted much of her charitable work to gender-based violence and support for women in post-conflict areas. Among her more than 70 patronages are organizations working globally to protect the rights and dignity of women affected by war and displacement. Sophie's transformation is not merely a tale of personal resilience, it's a story of how one can quietly, steadily rebuild a narrative. In a royal family often beset by drama, departures, and scandal, the Duchess of Edinburgh has remained a symbol of steadiness and strength. Her ability to survive such a painful episode and become an integral pillar of the monarchy reveals the power of grace under pressure. Perhaps that is why the British public and the institution itself have come to respect her so deeply. She represents a quieter kind of royalty, less glamorized, more grounded. If the earlier years of her royal life were defined by embarrassment, the decades that followed have been a masterclass in how to turn vulnerability into value. Sean Smith's Sophie, Saving the Royal Family, offers a compelling account of one woman's journey from public scandal to private resolve. And while the photos may have made headlines in 1999, it's her woke, loyalty, and enduring composure that define her legacy today. From a beach in Spain to the heart of the British monarchy, Sophie's story is not just one of redemption, it's one of triumph. Thanks for watching.